put my hand on the fridge, and then suddenly this vice just came in with like that. And then all these women in this great big hotel room with no clothes on. I was a belly dancer. One of them is called, strangely enough, No Hands. These two fingers. That's another story. And I was sitting down on the settee, and he came up to me and just rested his chin on my knee. He was trying to kill me last time he saw me. I also treat animals, by the way.
On today's episode of The Engaging Marketeer, you're in for a treat. I'm interviewing Jane Lee, who is a podiatrist, massage therapist, belly dancer, dog massager, and teller of the most bizarre stories. I'm talking to Jane about how she started in massage, and it's not how you would think it would be, and what she's doing now, and what she plans to do for the future. Spoiler alert, it involves massaging tigers. But let's just get straight into it and find out more about Jane Lee. I tried to find information more about your history online. I couldn't really find anything, to be honest, which is unusual.
I don't broadcast myself very much.
That's interesting from a marketing perspective.
Yes.
The not broadcasting your stuff. How's that working out?
It suits me pretty well, actually, because I've got A-boards outside.
Oh, A-board. Oh, so it's all conventional old school marketing.
Well, mainly. Well, 50-50. I've got a website.
I've seen that, yeah. It's a Yell website, isn't it?
No, it's not. I don't know how Yell got on the bottom of that.
Oh.
It could be that the web designer I've got took over the website from Yell, and so they've had to keep that bit at the bottom.
Oh, that's a bit odd. So it's not a Yell website, but it used to be in old times.
Many years ago, yes.
Many years ago. So it could still be Yell framework, or it could just be something that could be removed.
Yes, but I'm removing the whole lot very soon. I've just redesigned it over this weekend, and somebody's going to set it up for me.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, what have you moved to? Do you know what platform?
He's doing it for me, so I'm not sure.
You don't need to know, I suppose, so long as they're doing a good job.
Yeah.
And what do you hope that will do for you when you launch a new website?
Well, COVID changed a lot, so it's going to be more what it is now rather than what it was then. Because I've shrunk down deliberately, owing to the fact I've had 2 heart attacks just after COVID, so I've had to shrink my business a bit. But I'm very happy with it, and that's what I want to
2 heart
talk about.
attacks.
Yeah, and I'm still here.
That's to be applauded. I've never had an experience like that, and hopefully I never will.
Not to be recommended.
I imagine it isn't.
Pretty shocking.
Do you know what brought them both on?
I do think the stress of COVID had a hell of a lot to do with it, actually, because we were closed down because we're very close to people, really close to people. And so we were shut down for quite a lot of time. And then it was still nerve-wracking because of my age and the fact I'm asthmatic. So I thought, if I do get COVID, it'll kill me. I got it twice, and I didn't even know I'd got it.
Oh, well, that's good. Yeah,
yes.
my sister's asthmatic, and she was very worried about it as well.
There was a lot of hype over it, in my opinion. And less people died than would have died of flu.
Yes, I suppose. Yeah, there's a lot of thought about that as well. And if something had happened to you, it probably would have gone down as cause of death, COVID.
Yes. Even if I'd been run over by a bus, it would have been COVID.
Yeah,
there were no buses, of course, but
well, that's one good thing. You can't get run over by a bus. There's no buses. So I'm curious about this. You don't mind talking about this, do you?
Oh.
What?
Heart attack?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
What was it? What was it like? What was the experience like?
Well, I've had a really, really good day. Worked my butt off all day long doing carpal tunnel work, which is actually very intensive because one of the jobs I do is as a massage therapist, and I'm really, really good at it. So I was working away all day long. I think I did about 11 or 12 hours just on carpal tunnel, and I'd already cooked supper. So when I got home, I was expecting supper just to be heated up, and it wasn't there. It was still in the fridge. I was really cross. But I was very tired. And I went to the fridge, one of those American fridges with the long handle, and I put my hand on the fridge, and then suddenly this vice just came in with like that. And my knees bent. And thank God, I hung on to the kitchen top because the floor looks very cold. It's amazing how logical you are just as you're dying. I thought that floor looks really cold and hard. I don't want to do that. So I clung onto the side until I was trying to talk, but I had no breath until my partner actually came through to see what I was moaning about. And then I said, get a stool quick. And he stuffed a stool underneath me. And you're not going to love this next bit very much. I hovered there for about 20 minutes until I got my breath back. And then I went to bed.
You went to bed?
I went to bed. And then I got up later to cook supper. And then I went to work the next day. And when Saturday came, I thought, I can go to the hospital now and see what that was. 4 days later. And I was quite shocked when they took some blood from me straight away. And then they came out, and this is privacy for you, I don't think. There I was sitting in a very full waiting room, and the doctor came out and said, well, Miss Lee, I'm very sorry to say you've had a heart attack. And I said, what? Looking around at everyone, I thought, thank God it's not venereal disease I've got, because you don't normally announce the problem in front of everyone, do you?
No, I suppose you don't, no.
So he said, well, we're going to have to take you in. I said, no, you're not. I can't. I'm sorry. Well, no, we are taking it. No, I'm not. I'm not coming in. You've got to come in. I said, look, I've got to go to Brighton tomorrow. I've got a very important class. I've got to be there. The professor's from Korea. I cannot miss the course. And he was very persuasive. So in the end, I thought, I'd better go, I suppose. So I went into this ward, and it was full of lunatics because I was 73 at the time. And once you pass 70, believe me, what you get is not very nice. So I was surrounded by all these people with Alzheimer's, and someone was on their phone all the time. And I was there for a couple of hours. They fed me, it wasn't bad. And I saw 8 doctors came round to talk to me. And I kept saying, I've got to go home, I've got to go home. And in the end, they realised I'd still got so much vitality left in me that they allowed me to go. So I got to Brighton the next day. I got up at 6 and I went off to Brighton the next day. But it was really hard getting up the hill to the course. And then I had another one, but I knew what it was. So the second time, I went to the hospital straight away. And
So you recognised it the second time and thought, this is a heart attack.
Yes.
I'd better not walk this off and go for a nap like I did last time and then give it the weekend before popping into hospital. I'd probably better go and get this one checked out straight away.
Yes. I don't think it's done much damage. I've still got a bit of brain left.
Well, it's good to have a little bit. Where were you when the second one happened, and how long in between them was it?
About probably 4 or 5 months, maybe.
So not
maybe
long then.
6 months.
Not long at all.
And no, but the second time I had a feeling when I went to bed that there would be trouble, and I said to my partner, "We may be going to hospital tonight." And then at 4 o'clock in the morning, I said, "We're going to hospital." And the beauty of it is that if you go in with a heart problem, they see you straight away. You don't have to wait 12 hours.
Well, that is one advantage to it.
Yes, and I stayed in. I had a lovely rest because I'd already done everything I needed to do. There was no course the next day. So I thought, I'll go into a rest, but not in that bloody ward. So they put me in another nice, peaceful ward. And I stayed there for 5 days reading the Dalai Lama's book, and it was lovely. And when I'd finished it, I said, "Can I come home now, please?" And they said yes.
So you took the opportunity of having a heart attack to catch up on some reading?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you don't want to waste any time, do you, I suppose?
Yeah. So you could say I'm a bit of a survivor.
Well, I'd say very much so, very much so. Did they warn you that something could bring it on again, or have you made any changes to your life?
Yes, I've never been on medications before in my life, and I'm actually on quite a few tablets now. I think 2 of them are vitamins that I take. So I think I'm taking 6 pills at the moment, which is awful. However, here's another funny thing. Well, the first time I went in, the doctor came in and he brought this great big needle, and I could see on the end what the drug was. It was called furosemide. I said, "That's a diuretic." He said, "Yes," as he pumped it in me. And he said, "The toilet's over there. You're going to need it." And I went every 10 minutes for 2 hours, and I lost 1/2 stone in 2 hours.
Jesus Christ.
So I was full of water, which was why my heart was having to work so hard. I
Right.
thought I
So
put on weight, and my friend said, "I don't know why you're putting on all that weight. You eat really healthily. How come you're putting on this weight?" And it wasn't weight at all; it was water.
it's just water retention.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow. That is definitely a wow. So, right. Okay. So you're eating healthily, but you're retaining a lot of water. Therefore,
Yeah.
that's somehow giving you a heart attack. Did you explain why that
Well,
was?
when I had my first COVID jab, I actually had a bit of anaphylactic shock from it, and I was like an epileptic for 8 hours. But you couldn't go to hospital then because no one was allowed to go to hospital except
So
unless you.
you
I
walked
didn't
that
know I was
so
dying.
you walked that off and went for a nap, I presume.
No, I stayed in bed actually, lots of hot water bottles and things because I was really, really cold. But anyway, that was my kidneys playing up, and it was my kidneys that are causing the problem and caused the heart attacks.
Hmm.
So I think the damage to the kidneys was because of the jab, but we're not going to prove that, and I
No.
wouldn't chase that one up anyway because it would make me have another heart attack, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some things you just want to let go, isn't there?
Yeah, you've got to because I need to move on. You could spend the rest of your life arguing about something, and what's the point?
Yeah. So you mentioned that the first heart attack you had, you'd spent all day doing massage for carpal tunnel.
Yes,
That's quite intensive, isn't it,
yeah,
on your hands?
yeah,
Because I know a massage therapist, and she's a bit younger than me, I think. So I'm 47, so she's borderline 46, 47, something like that. And she said she can't do it for too much longer because of the strain on the hands. How
Most
are you
massage
able?
therapists only last 7 years, and I've been doing it now for 25 years.
Okay, well there's a story there. How are you able to do it for so long?
I've learned techniques that I'm not using my hands very much at all.
Oh,
And one of them is called, strangely enough, no hands massage.
no hands massage.
Yes.
Okay,
So I
there's
use,
a lot going through my mind right now. You're going to have to clarify that.
so the majority of the work is done with you've got the arm with a bone in on the outside. So if you want a really hard bit of massage, you use the bone to do it with. If
Right.
you want a more relaxing massage, you turn your hand that way, relax your hand so it all goes soft, and you use that part. And then you use your elbow, your shoulder, your head,
Yeah.
your knees, and the underneath of your leg, underneath of the thigh, and your butt.
Of course. I mean, that would have to get in there somewhere. I'd
Yes,
be
and do you know
disappointed
what?
if it
It's
didn't, quite frankly.
fantastic massage. It really is fantastic.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. Is that a known technique, or is that something
Yeah.
that you've devised?
No, I didn't devise it. I wish I had. No, a chap called Jerry Pives thought it up because he was injured. He actually was fainting while he was doing. He was a sports massage. He was on his fourth massage of the day, and he really didn't want to go to work because his arms were killing him in his hands. And he started on this really big Russian bloke, and the pain was so great he actually fainted over him. And when he woke up, whatever his name was, Vladimir or whatever, said, "Oh, I don't know what you're doing, but it's really fantastic." So he thought, so he lay on him again, and Vladimir said, "Oh, that's really good." So he worked out ways that he could drop his weight into the body without using the hands. It took him about, well, years and years, I think 10 years or something to really develop it. But it's a fantastic thing. He's now moved to New Zealand, unfortunately, but a wonderful teacher, I thought. Controversial.
Oh,
Which,
did he teach you personally? Did he?
oh, yes. Oh,
wow.
yes.
So he so he eventually invented this by fainting and accidentally doing a pinfall on a Russian, which was like a
Yeah.
wrestling move, and pinned him to the canvas. But that then
Yeah.
became a mass. That sounds very weird.
Yes. And the interesting thing is that he found me because he put out a survey, I think it was the Federation of Holistic Therapists, asking how many therapists had been injured, their hands had been injured from doing massage and had they given up or not, or were they just about to give up. Unfortunately, I discovered him after 4 years when I was in pain, a lot of pain. And so I responded to his email.
Right.
That was sold. As soon as I found out I could carry on massaging, no matter how many thousands of pounds I paid him, and believe me, I did. I pay a hell of a lot for my training, and it's worth it. And yeah, it's been wonderful. I did it over years, and I still do over years. But now he's left. I really miss doing his classes. They were such fun.
I bet they were. I bet they
There's
were.
all these women in this great big hotel room with no clothes on.
I wasn't
For three
expecting them to be
days.
that good, but no, they sound
Yeah, lots
amazing.
of women.
Well, I wish I was there. Yeah, it sounds fantastic. It
Yes.
sounds like a Caligula party. Why has he moved to New Zealand? What's he doing? Come on.
He is New Zealand. He went there during, well, no, let's put it this way. It was there. He was getting married again. He was going on honeymoon to New Zealand. He is a New Zealander.
All right.
And when he left, which I think was the 19th of December, when he left, the lockdown hadn't just happened. It was just about to happen. He left COVID free. And by the time he got to New Zealand, he had COVID, which was pretty rough, wasn't it? So he must have caught it on the plane. And so they locked him up for 3 weeks in Rotorua, which is a very stinky place where they've got that, that festering yellow smoke comes out of the ground. It's
Oh, right.
they have a sort of pen for them there. So they were both locked up for 3 weeks. And then she was let out, but he had to stay there another 3 weeks because he'd been near somebody who had COVID.
It doesn't make a lot of sense, does it?
No.
So, how many
By that time, he decided to stay.
massage therapists use this technique then? How many are there that could potentially use it?
Hundreds, because I trained with him for about 8 years on and off. And there are other people teaching it now instead. So, yeah, hundreds and hundreds.
Oh. And it prolongs the career.
Yes. There's no strain at all on the body. You just drop your weight onto the person in a certain way. And music is used a lot in it because you use the expectation of the weight coming according to the beat of the music.
Oh, I see. Right.
And we use hypnotic music. So you go into a sort of trance. It's wonderful. I cannot tell you how wonderful a no-hands massage is. I'm advertising for all these no-hand people, and they should be pay me a commission, don't you think?
They should be. They should be.
Every no-hands person would tell you it's wonderful. They're totally bowled over by it.
And what's the difference in terms of the experience? Are they the same length of time? Are they the same cost?
Yes. Well, everyone's different, so you can't say what somebody is doing because one person might charge £10 and someone else might charge £120, which is me. However, I get more massages than the £10 person does. Now, that's interesting marketing, isn't it? It's because I'm delivering. Is a £10 person actually delivering? And have they had much practice?
No, that's a really good point. Yeah, most people think that the cheaper you make your prices, the more customers you'll get, but quite often that you'll be putting people off because they'll think they're cheap for a reason. They're inexperienced. They don't really know what they're doing. It's a poor quality service or a poor quality product.
Well, I say to them, would you like to go to a brain surgeon who was 30 quid an hour, or would you prefer someone who's £1,000 an hour? I know which one I prefer.
Some people will go, well, that £30 an hour sounds good. He gonna fix my brain proper. Whoa. Okay. So what got you into massage in the first place then?
Oh, yes. I remember now.
Oh, good.
26 years ago.
You have to make it up otherwise, but yeah.
26 years ago, I was a belly dancer.
Of course you were.
What was a profession? One of my hobbies.
I should have guessed, quite frankly. It was my first choice.
One of my hobbies was belly dancing.
Right, yes, go on.
The week that I qualified as a podiatrist, I went to the belly dancing class and said I'd qualified as a podiatrist, and the teacher said, "Oh, good, we're running a North African dance class for a week in a Rothschild's mansion in Tring, and we would love to have a podiatrist there. Would you be willing to come?" I said, thinking, "Oh, am I good enough?" And she said, "And if you don't have any clients, you can join the classes free." So I thought,
Right.
yeah. So off I went with my bits and pieces to the mansion in Tring for this week-long, I don't know what you call it, festival of dance, African dance. Now you use your hands a lot in African, well, North African dances, very exotic belly dancing. There's two sorts of belly dancing, the Arab sort and the Turkish sort. And we were doing the Arab, which is much more elegant.
Right.
And so I got my first customer in the morning, who was quite an easy job, and she rather enjoyed it. And I massaged her. Well, no, I didn't. I rubbed some cream into her feet when I'd finished, but it's very nice cream. It makes you feel like it's fresh air, which is how I got the name Walking on Air from the cream.
Right. Okay.
It makes you feel like you've been in the breeze for quite a long time, just nice and fresh and all alive.
Yeah.
So she said to her friends, you get a really nice foot massage around it. Why don't you go and get your feet done? But she didn't say that until lunchtime. I did her first thing in the morning. And since I had nothing else booked in, I went downtown, and I love charity shops. I went in this charity shop, and on the top shelf was one of those foot bars that people give other people for Christmas that's never used. And I thought, oh, £3, that's not too bad. That might be useful, possibly. And then I looked down at the books because I'm a bit of a fiend for books. And there in the books was how to do hand massage. I thought, well, that's interesting because hands are very like feet. And when they taught foot massage at college, I was actually in the toilet having a wee. And by the time I came out, they'd finished. So I flicked through the pictures.
How long was your wee?
Not very long.
Okay.
Not very long. So I flicked through the pictures and thought, oh, yeah, that's interesting. And I went back to have lunch. And when I got back to have lunch, somebody said, I understand you do a very good foot massage. I thought, really? In fact, I probably said, really? So she said, so can I have a foot massage? I don't need my feet doing, but can I have a foot massage? I said, well, you can, but can I make a suggestion? I said, could I massage your hands and then wrap them up, and then I'll do your feet? We'll soak your feet in a lovely herbal bath, the vibration of a herbal bath, while I'm massaging your hands. And then I'll massage your feet. How does that sound as a package? She said, wonderful. When can I start? I said, 2:30, because of course I had to rush back downtown again, get the foot bath, have another quick flick through the book. Then I went back and I did it. This was 26 years ago. You got to bear this in mind. And she went and told somebody else, and I was actually busy for the whole week because they were all telling. And some people came back several times to have this done. So that was amazing for somebody who'd only been qualified as a podiatrist for 3 days.
Wow.
And by the end of the week, I'd earned £800 cash. 26 years ago.
Not bad at all.
Not bad at all for somebody who didn't know how to do massage. So I thought, I would love to learn how to do massage because I thoroughly enjoyed my week. I'd made some money and I wasn't at all tired, not at all. I felt really refreshed and felt I'd done a really good job, which I still do feel, so that's great. And so I went home to find out how I could learn to be a massage therapist. This was in September. And I went down to the local tech and I said, I want to be a massage therapist. And they said, yes, we've got a massage course. I said, great, how much is it? She said, well, I'll send you the catalogue. I just want to know the price. No, I'll send you a catalogue. Oh, all right then. So that's 2 days I've got to wait, the whole 2 days. Anyway, finally the catalogue came. Opened it up. Yeah, they do massage, no prices. So I rang up and said, I want to do massage. How much is it? I've got the information. Oh, well, I don't know. I'll get somebody to contact you. So I waited. And guess what came through the door 2 days later? Another catalogue. So I rang them up again. Repeat, rinse and repeat. So by the time I had 3 catalogues, I'd actually lost the will to live. But then a poster came through, marketing again, a little leaflet came through the door saying that another college a bit further away had an open day and they do massage. So I go along to there and I see their department, lovely, much nicer than the one where I live. And I said, right, I want to do massage, let's sign up. They said, oh, no, you can't sign up till next year, we're full. I said, no, I want to do massage now, not next year. I want it now. Well, anyway, I put my name down and I went away. And then 3 weeks later, there was a phone call saying, so many people want to do massage. We're starting up another course. Would you like to do it 2 days a week? I said, yeah. And I was there straight away. And that's how my long career, which I'm still training in now, started 26 years ago.
All because you were a belly dancer.
Yes. It's amazing what can happen when you get that glitter on, you know. Anything can happen.
Yeah. You know, when I get the glitter on, you just wow, it's all on. It's gone. Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Just hips.
I imagine doing foot massages at belly dancing, in all seriousness, is probably quite a desirable thing to do, because dancers naturally would have a lot of aches and pains and blisters in their feet.
With belly dancing and not really abusing their feet like a ballet dancer would. Most of the time they're very grounded. And belly dancing was actually designed by the Arabs to help women in childbirth. And so for the hips, you're wiggling the hips a lot, aren't you? And that really loosens everything up. And in fact, my no hands massage therapist has taught us that if somebody's coming in with female problems, all you've got to do is really rock the hips and get them moving and work on getting the function of the hips really good. And then they'll be pain-free.
So I imagine Shakira's pain-free.
Probably. You'll have to ask her.
I would if I met her. I'll get her on the podcast. If anyone's listening knows Shakira, give her a shout. I'd love to have her on it.
The feet were not bad. They had more calluses on because they're doing dancing in bare feet. It's more about hard skin than anything else.
Yeah.
But it was a wonderful experience. I loved every minute of it. And I only got to 2 classes.
Oh, probably having a wee. So did you carry on the belly dancing after that?
I ran out of time in the end. I did it for the rest of the year, and then I sort of ran out of time because I got quite busy doing podiatry and massage.
Well, you know, if you're too busy, you know, doing work that pays money, then
yeah, exactly.
You got to let it go, I suppose. You got to let a few things go.
Yeah, so I did ballroom dancing instead, and that was lovely too.
Of course you did. Of course.
I love dancing.
So what? With your business now, you mentioned that you've got boards outside, and you've got a website that you're just getting redone. Where does the business come from to you now? Your clients, where do they come from?
Actually, you'd be amazed to hear that those boards work quite well, because next to me I've got a retail park for builders and plumbers and electricians, and I get a lot of injuries from them. Especially decorators who like that all the time, doing the ceiling, they get neck and shoulder problems. And I do builders, got a lot of builders, bad backs, got a lot of footballers, bad groins. Sometimes I go home and I say, I've had my finger in more groins. I've had hot dinners today. And that isn't no hands. I do have to use my fingers there.
Well, of course, you got to get your fingers in there, haven't you? Yeah. Otherwise, what else are you going to use? You know.
So the A-board actually works better than you think. In fact, a lorry driver was going past once, and he sneezed as he went by, and there was terrible pain. He was looking at my sign and he sneezed. I don't know what my sign did to make him sneeze. He went home and he was in terrible pain. So he decided to come back to find out what my phone number was, because it says don't knock on the door because I'm busy. So he came home to find my phone number. He went home to call me. Telephones are useful sometimes. And then I said, well, yeah, you can come in. And he came back in, and I did this other weird stuff where you're just using these 2 fingers.
Yeah.
That's another story.
Just give me the double bird then. For anyone not watching on video, I just got the double bird from Jane then.
Anyway,
I'm using that as a still, you know, for the podcast. We're using that.
People might be offended. Anyway, this is called Emmett therapy, and this is an Australian therapy.
Okay, of course it is. It would be the Aussies. You're doing the double finger. It's going to be the Aussies, isn't it?
I'll just finish the thing about the lorry driver.
Okay.
So I did this calming thing on him, and he did calm down, but he still had some pain in the chest. So I got him on the table, and I started doing no hands. on his back, where he said the pain was in his chest. And as I went over his back, the bones began to move. I said, I think you've broken your ribs. That would explain the pain, wouldn't it? Although he was in a lot less pain because I'd calmed him down. Oh, he said, yeah, well, he drives the cars for the Grand Prix. And he'd been through Belgium with his friends, and they got drunk one night, and he fell over, and he landed half on the pavement. So the edge of the pavement caught him right in the ribs and broke his ribs.
Oh,
And they just started healing, and he sneezed outside, and it broke the ribs again.
ooh, that could have been a lot worse, though, couldn't it? Landing on a pavement
I
like
could have
that.
actually punctured his lung, couldn't I?
Yeah.
But I
Could
was
have
going
could have
quite
broken his
lightly,
spine.
thank God, because I can really put the belly in there. You know, I can really do very forceful stuff if I want to. But I was light at the time because he was in a bit of pain, so I didn't want to go in too heavy. Thank goodness.
You
And
meant,
yes, so I get recommendations from people like that.
I was thinking, you mentioned you get your builders and lorry drivers and that. Is there not a stigma with them that the massage isn't really for blokes? Do you get
But the
any of that?
massage I do is very, very powerful. I really get in there, and it's because I'm using my weight. Couldn't possibly do that with my hands.
But do they know that before they come in, though?
Well, I've got a bit of a reputation of being able to fix everything.
Ah, right.
Can. So there's a lot of recommendations as well. And there's nothing better, is there not, than a recommendation from somebody you know and trust.
There's not, no. Somebody you know, like, and trust that refers someone and says they've done this for me, they'll definitely be able to do it for you. Yeah. Goes a
And I
long
had a
way.
builder in yesterday who said, my God, if everyone knew what you could do, you're fantastic. You'd be inundated. You'd never get home. I said, well, it's a good job that everyone knows it. Which was a nice comment in a way, wasn't it?
It is, but it raises a good question. Yeah, you'll never get home. How much work can you actually take on?
Well, a little bit more than I'm doing because it hasn't really recovered that much from COVID. But prior to COVID, I was flat out for what I wanted to do. But funny enough, that bloke sent me a text a few hours later and said, will you look at one of my lads because he's got a bad back? I said, send a photograph and I'll look at it. He did say, look at the back.
So
You don't get that, do you?
you don't.
He said, would you like to look at the back? I said, just send me a photograph.
So I was thinking then, I imagine it's for a building firm, for a building company that has people that work for them, for example, as you mentioned then, using somebody like you would be cost effective
Amazing.
for them because it'll keep people
Absolutely.
off sick, won't it?
Yeah. In fact, the M25, 12 miles away, the Guildford Junction has been closed off for years. Well, not closed off. It's really difficult. It's going to be like it for about 6 years. And I got my first workman in from there this last weekend who'd had his back, and he had to carry on working because they got a contract to finish it in time. So I really should contact the contractors there, shouldn't I, now you come to mention it, and say, right, I can fix it.
Yeah, definitely. Because I said the lady I mentioned earlier that is massage therapist, she's also a psychologist as well. And one of the things that she works hard on is getting in front of businesses to help them keep their staff in work so that they don't go off with mental problems and sort of stress and that kind of thing. And it's a similar thing with you. You're helping businesses keep their employees in work.
Yes.
So a good approach for you possibly would be dealing with HR companies. Anybody in outsourced HR that works with businesses who, again, will be looking at helping them keep their staff in work longer, reducing the sick days. There's the sex days. You don't want to reduce the sex days. Yeah, you want to keep them up as much as you can. You want to reduce the sick days, and you're able to do that. So you'd be a good person for HR companies to introduce as well.
Yes, I would. I can get them back to work very quickly. In fact, my sign that's so effective outside, it's got a bloke holding his back, crippled with pain, and it says, I can get you back to work quickly. And that's what works. I do get them. I can get them back to work in an hour, not 6 weeks if they go to the doctor. Because all they get at the doctor is painkillers, and if they keep the painkillers up for 3 weeks and still got it back, they get a referral to the physiotherapist. They wait 6 weeks for that, and then the therapist just gives them stuff they got to do themselves that they don't do anyway. So they've lost a lot of time and a lot of wasted work when I can have them back at work the same day.
You're basically Mr. Miyagi in The Karate Kid, aren't you?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that.
My car's a bit better than his, though.
Where Daniel-san was injured in the fight tournament at the end, and Mr. Miyagi did that massage on him and got him back up fighting again straight away, so that he wasn't disqualified. That's you.
More than once. Yes, that's me. Yeah,
that's you.
Great, I love it.
So what's your plan for the business then? How far do you think you can take it? And are you looking to expand, take more people on, teach?
I did have somebody before COVID, and then she left. She packed her bags and went to live in Belize. I mean, I ask you,
in Belize? Why would you want to do that? That's just crazy.
No, it's not. She lives on the beach. The sun shines every day.
Oh, but it's not Guildford, though, is it?
No, it's not. It's not as smelly as Guildford is.
Nutter. I don't understand why people do these things.
And because it's been very unpredictable, I haven't got anyone else, but also the heart attacks made me think, is it fair to get somebody else? Because I might be here one day and gone the next. So I'm staying on my own for a bit, but I'm going to narrow down the days that I work. So I'm going to work maybe for 4 days-ish, doing body work here of various sorts. And then I'm going to train to be, or I am trained to be, a coach, and I'm going to do relationships because I have had a partner for 49 years.
Relationship coaching. Well,
yeah. I know something about relationships working, I think.
Well, why not? Why not? So what's the plan with that? What do you?
I'll do it online.
Okay, so anywhere in the world.
Yeah. Why not? So if that really takes off, by the time I'm so decrepit that I can't massage, God forbid, and I need to close the business, then I will go off and into the sunset and just chat to people and do the odd massage break and find somebody who's willing to lie down and let me stick my elbow into their back.
I was wondering how you were going to finish that sentence then. So what's the plan for the relationship coaching then, to actually market that as a business?
Well, I'm actually, I've just hired somebody. I tried Ed J. Smith, who I saw on website, and I did sign up for that. And Ed is fantastic, but I can't say that for everyone. And there was a bit I was stuck on there. And basically, I ran out of time because it's a timed course, and if you don't do it in time, that's it. You have to pay thousands more, and I wasn't prepared to do that because what I got stuck on was building a funnel, a funnel, and I thought, no, I could pay someone to do that a lot cheaper than I have to pay Ed to keep going. I really enjoyed Ed's course, but not the technical side of it because the person who was teaching it seemed to be so disinterested in it. It sort of spread. I like enthusiastic people.
I can tell you are absolutely brimming with enthusiasm and just general excitement. It's a
great life I have.
I had no idea where this interview was going to go, and I'm still not sure where it's going to go now, even though we're nearly at the end of it. So you asked me what my aim was, and my aim is to remain really happy in what I do, and that's all that matters. I earn pretty well, actually. For a massage therapist and the other things I do, I earn pretty well. I'm not complaining about the money at all. Obviously, I could earn a lot more, but there comes a time you have to draw the line and think, well, how much work do I really want? And do I really want to be bothered with trying to sell other people? So, and I'm thinking, well, I'm doing okay just on my own. So I think for now, I'm just going to stay on my own. Okay.
So I've just talking to, and I've started a little agreement with somebody in another class I'm doing who's going to help me with the marketing, social media, because social media is not my bag. And he's going to do that for me, which is why I rewrote the website over Easter, because we're going to redesign it with just what I want to focus on now.
Well, I think that whoever you use for that, they're very lucky because you're the kind of person that is very easy to promote on social media because the stories you have and the fact that you don't just do a massage for the sake of doing a massage. You're getting people back into work. There is a monetary boost to having it done. So there's a real benefit to it, which makes it very easy to promote.
Yes.
Very easy to market.
I'm always amazed when I'm doing this massage is, why are they paying me? I should be paying them. I'm having such a good time, especially with a no hands massage. I'm thinking, somebody's paying me for this. They must be mad. I would happily pay them the same money just to be able to do it. I love my job.
It shows. It shows. And I don't know if you've done it, but the enjoyment that you get out of it and what it is, because I'd not even heard of it. I'd recommend, if you can, film one of them. Even if it's someone that comes in that you know and does it purely as an advert, film it. The experience of that online would show other people how enjoyable it is and how beneficial it is, and would take away any of the taboos or fears that people have over going to see a massage therapist. Because what I mentioned earlier about blokes being blokey blokes and thinking, oh, massage, I'm not sure that's right for me. To actually visually see what you do and the enjoyment that you get out of it and the actual benefit that the person being massaged gets out of it would get over all of that. I think you'd get a lot more from it. You get a lot more business from it by just showing how you do it.
I do a lot of things, actually. I can, with the builders, they quite like vicious stuff, and I can do a lot of really vicious stuff. And I do traditional East Asian medicine, and you have to sort of get in there with tools and make it all red. And there's cupping. Have you ever seen cupping?
I've seen pictures of cupping.
That, they can go down the pub and show everyone afterwards all those black circles on their bags.
Oh,
you love it. They get the centre of attention all evening.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of cupping. That doesn't look like something I want to do.
Really effective, really effective.
It looks painful. I imagine it's not, though, but it
looks...
looks...
No, it's not, actually. Taking it off is a bit lively. You have to take it off slowly. Just let the air come out very gently. If you do it quickly, it's... I also treat animals, by the way.
Oh, yeah, yes. Okay. Right, I've no idea where this conversation is going to go now. Go on.
Upright, they're on four legs, so it's the same as a human being, but they've gone over onto their hands as well, you know?
Right.
And the anatomy is much the same, but sometimes smaller and sometimes bigger. So, for instance, the shoulder blade on a dog is long and thin, whereas ours is short and fat. But it's still a shoulder blade. It's still got the same little dents on it that you have to look for. Okay.
And dogs obviously come in various different shapes and sizes.
Yeah, the Irish wolfhounds are a nightmare because they're so hairy. I have so much mess to clear up afterwards. I might prefer a Jack Russell.
So you can do this on a small dog like a Jack Russell then?
Yes, I've got a Jack Russell at home. He has a massage every day.
Of course he does.
To me, the kennels I rescued him from said, do not take this dog. He's a nightmare. But I like a nightmare. I like a challenge. That was on Saturday. By Monday evening, I had got the perfect dog.
Wow,
all quick. He got was massage. He was in pain. He'd had a bad back for years. And so if anyone touched him, he'd bite them because he was in pain. I did it in a very gentle way, and he loves me to bits. And he's 18 now.
Wow.
He was 2.5 when we rescued him.
He's how old, sorry?
He's 18 years old.
Yeah, when you rescued him,
he was 10.5. We didn't know.
Right.
We wouldn't have rescued him if we'd known he was a pensioner already. He's fabulous. He's the best dog we've ever had.
Wow.
He's so obedient because he gets a massage every morning.
And with pet owners, because obviously pet owners will spend whatever they want for their dogs if it's beneficial for them. How often do the pets have this done?
And they don't really need many treatments because like the people, I fix them very quickly. You're going to tell me I should slow down and do less in the time I'm with them, but if I had to keep doing somebody time and time again, I'd get bored quite honestly.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. It wouldn't be ethical to say that.
No, I don't think so.
But no. I'm just thinking, is it something that the dogs have regular, or is it just a one-off, fixes the problem, and then they're good?
2 sessions usually sees them for quite a long time.
Okay.
A lot of them are very old. So in the end, they die as well because I do a lot of Labradors because they have hip problems, but they don't live as long as Jack Russells.
No, sadly they don't. No, the bigger the dogs, they tend to have the shorter lifespans. Yeah. Is there any type of breed that you don't do? or it's not as effective with?
Well, the really thick coated ones that have like 3 coats, it's quite hard to, because you have to find a certain bit of the anatomy. The bone is not smooth; it's got little grooves and dents in it, and I know where to find those little dents and grooves, and that's where the finger goes, because that's the one finger.
Right.
Goes
Of course it is.
exactly the right
She's
spot.
flicking the bird at me again, people. She's flicking the bird at me again.
Then you match it to another bird somewhere else, and the stuff in between the 2 fingers relaxes. So you might put one finger on the corner of the scapula, the shoulder blade, and the other one might go under the armpit. And that just relaxes that whole area underneath the scapula, underneath the armpit, which is really hard to do by any other way, actually.
Right. And are any dogs nervous about this or
Yes.
Reluctant?
They're not reluctant once they've had some, but because we had one dog that was very, very fierce. He'd just come over from Romania, and he had to wear a muzzle because he was very, very angry. And so we kept the muzzle on for the treatment. And then she brought him in the next time. And when he got out of the car, he ran up to the door wagging his tail. And I thought, this dog's fierce. I'll just sit down and see what happens. And I was sitting down on the settee, and he came up to me and just rested his chin on my knee. He was trying to kill me last time he saw me.
Oh.
Because it changes their personality. It relaxes them. There's a reason why they behave the way they do. It's because something, as with humans, something bad's happened to them. And if I can, without language, if I can relax them with just 2 fingers in the right place, how amazing is that? I mean, it's just magic. I love it.
It is magic, because science does appear to be magic to, there's a phrase, I forget what the phrase is, science appears to be magic to a less developed society.
Yes.
Something along those lines. That may even have been from Star Trek, I don't know. But yes, if someone doesn't know how you're doing it, and they don't understand it, then you just going in and sticking 2 fingers in a dog, and the dog's personality completely changing and becoming wonderful.
That sounds really bad. They're in respectable places that
You've been saying it the whole time we've been doing this. I say it once, and suddenly it's not allowed. Yeah.
No, they're acupuncture points. You have to find the acupuncture points, of which there are many, many.
But yeah, it does appear to be magic, though, because you are changing a dog's personality just by
relaxing them.
Relaxing it. Yeah.
Taking them out of pain, yes.
Wow.
And I've done a donkey once. I did it at a.
Of course you have. Yeah.
I leant over the fence and I did it on this donkey who was leaning against the fence. I just wanted to try it because horses respond the best.
So hang on, was the donkey even a patient, or you just happened to be passing by?
I was looking at this house and they had a donkey yard. So I just leant over the fence and did the donkey. And it jumped up the air and ran round and round the pen and then came back to me again.
Just randomly massaging animals as you pass them by. Are you allowed in zoos? That lion looks a bit stressed.
I do draw the line somewhere because the lions don't smell very nice.
Oh, do they not? I've never got close enough to find out. Do they not?
I have. No, they don't know. Their breath is a killer.
Well, I suppose they do eat a lot of raw meat.
Yeah, I don't do smelly dogs or people.
Or lions. No. But seriously, though, one of our clients does a lot of testing of, we're going to get really weird now, testing of feces to find different problems with a lot of animals. So there's a lot of pets, dogs, cats, rodents, that kind of thing. But they work with zoos and safari parks as well. Yes. So they'll order the kits, get the lion or the elephant's poo in, send it off. This is getting very weird. And test that to see what the dietary problems or the illnesses is with the animals. So I imagine that there's potential for you to work with zoos and safari parks.
Oh, I'd love to do an elephant. I'd need a ladder.
You need a ladder and maybe someone with another hand as well, because I don't know if you can get your hands around an elephant.
Well,
it's worth a try.
There are a lot of acupuncture points. You could just choose a different one that's close.
Well, I just think that would be such a good niche, such a good specialism to have. And let's face it, you like learning new stuff. Probably quite profitable as well, I'd imagine, because
the animals are very important.
Niche. It's niche.
There's no zoos in Guildford, damn it.
Well, you're not far from London Zoo, are you?
No.
No. And you're probably not far from Longleat Safari Park either.
not bad. Not
Yeah.
bad. I don't fancy doing lions though. I really don't.
Well, it doesn't have to be. You could say no
Yeah, tiger
lions.
any
No
day.
lions.
Tigers
Yeah.
are much prettier.
Tiger.
I have got a baby tiger, actually. I have adopted one in
What?
Africa.
Oh, right. Oh, God.
He's
Right. Okay.
white.
I
It's a
was just
white-
wondering if I was
white
going to see a
tiger.
tiger walking around behind you then.
No, I adopted a baby in South Africa.
Okay. Right. This is
What can you say to that?
well, there isn't a lot really. This is just getting weird now. So we are running out of time, thankfully. So
You got her.
what? This has been one of the best podcasts I've ever done, I've got to say. So anyone listening to this thinking, by God, she's crazy. No, anyone listening to this thinking, I would love to work with her, either for myself or for my employees who do physical jobs and have strains, or my dogs, or any zookeepers out there thinking, yeah, my tiger,
zookeepers.
my tiger's a bit miserable. I think it could be something to do with her. How can they get in touch with you, Jane Lee?
Well, they can look on my website. With the current one is walkingonair-guildford.co.uk, and the new one is going to be walkingonair-guildford.com. So just remember Walking on Air, and you put in Guildford, I'm going to come up anyway.
Fantastic.
It may not say everything I do on there. It says it's got me as podiatrist at the top, but I want to do less podiatry because it's bad for my lungs.
And you want to do more animals?
Yeah, it's good for my heart.
They're good for everyone's heart, aren't they, animals?
Yes.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll put the links to both of those beneath the podcast as well. So anyone listening to this on Apple or Spotify, the link will be in the description below. If you're watching it on YouTube, it's in the description below the video. So, Jane, it's been an experience.
I bet.
It really has, but it genuinely has been one of the most enjoyable podcasts I've ever recorded because I had no idea what to expect. And even if I did...
Well, you wouldn't have got it if you had expected
Exactly.
it.
I would not have expected that, even if I had expected it. Thank you very much for being on the podcast.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you. I didn't say the F word, did I?